Like the lyrics, "The job is mine," literally speaks to the assumption that there can only be one of us. Like that doesn't hurt anybody's feelings right now.
And about enough, it's not hard to see.
So, genius marketing or problematic stereotypes. So Loren and Jess just dropped this full-on parody of Brandy and Monica's "The Boy Is Mine." Except for fighting over a boy, they are battling over a radio job. Do y'all think that this is a PR move? Do you think it's like brilliantly calculated or exhaustingly familiar? Either way, it has everybody talking today, and I think that that was the point all along. However, I think that, well, let's talk about what I think it is. I don't think it's about creating a classic R&B moment. Hello, 90s. I do think that it's about leveraging the controversy for maximum engagement, which you should, right? I do think it's about transforming a potentially divisive moment into a viral sensation that benefits everyone, which I think it's smart, right? I think the strategy is great, absolutely. But I think it also speaks volumes about the industry that we're observing. Jess has been having quite the week, okay? Like from last week, having emotional breakdown on Instagram to addressing her crew to going to Club Shay Shay, which I believe added another layer to her media presence. I learned things about her I didn't know. Part of me wants to say, get your bag. Like, get every single opportunity out there, secure all of them, especially in an industry where our shelf life is constantly questioned. Why not capitalize on every moment of relevance that you can get, right? But I still feel like there's a deeper conversation that's not being had, like one that goes beyond this clever PR stunt and these viral moments that everyone is capitalizing on. I really do think that we need to talk about the spaces that Black women occupy in media, and more importantly, how quickly those spaces can disappear. Take Garcelle, for instance. She recently announced her departure from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills after 5 seasons. She's like my favorite on the show. I hate the mother hoes now. Like in her announcement, she cited her desire to focus on her family, particularly her kids, and pursuing new projects, producing and acting. And she expressed gratitude, for the network, the producers, the crew, and some of them other hoes. But she was emphasizing on, I'll see you later. Like this is a moment in time. But that's not why you're leaving. We know that. We watched the show. Like you could see the dissension creeping up year after year. But what I think it is, and we'll find out soon enough, that there have been reports that Garcelle became extremely upset after a significant confrontation from her castmate Bose that led to her walking off the set and announcing her departure. Now, we'll find out this week when the reunion, I think it comes on this week, if not this week, next week. But you've got this new black woman coming in, and these other people are feeling some kind of way about you. She's playing the game, you're not. It's no wonder you don't feel supported. And her situation is not unique. We see a disturbing pattern of this across the industry. We've got Black-led shows with solid ratings that are getting canceled left and right. Black Lady sketch show, you got Rap Shit, you got the Wonder Years reboot, Grand Crew, Southside, Our Kind of People. These shows all had dedicated audiences. Watchmen, they have cultural relevance. A lot of them had critical acclaim, and they're still getting axed faster than their counterparts. How's that, Sway? How does that work? Like, meanwhile, we've got mainstream news programs and talk shows that provided platforms for diverse voices disappearing at an alarming rate. Look what happened to Joy Reid recently, or Don Lemon. After years of building their platforms and audiences at major networks, for those folks, both of these folks are having to pivot and carve out a new space for themselves. Joy Reid just transitioned from her job at MSNBC to launching her own production company and a podcast network, and I hope the best for her. You got Don Lemon killing it on YouTube and TikTok, And he is really emerging as a major digital media personality. Like, it's actually pretty fun to watch. They've been able to transition, fingers crossed with joy, for joy rather, especially in places where traditional doors have closed on them. But I really think that we should be celebrating the fact that these established Black voices are still able to create their own tables rather than being valued at existing ones. Like, the landscape for all of this stuff is shifting beneath our feet, you guys, and not in the direction of progress. We're going backwards. We're watching like spaces contract instead of expanding, and options are diminishing instead of multiplying. That's not how things have been in this country. So when I see Loren and Jess performing this parody about fighting over a job, like, I can't help to think about the reality behind the humor. They're not just playing into a stereotype for laughs. Like, they're highlighting a genuine scarcity that exists in every single industry. And the joke lands because the truth hurts. And there really are not enough seats at the table for all of us. And what makes this more complicated is that the jobs that do exist for Black women in media often come with additional burdens. I would say any industry, the expectation to represent an entire community, the pressure to be likable and relatable without being too agreeable, the tightrope walk of like being authentic and real, but not being like too Black, the scrutiny of every word, every hairstyle, every tone of voice. Like, you're the kind of Black person I like. You understand? Girl. So like, I understand that there's a hustle. I understand that they need to capitalize on every moment. I know that they need to turn their controversies into currency. I'm with you on that. But in an industry where Black women are often treated as interchangeable or even disposable, I get you have to maximize every opportunity that comes your way, but how long are we going to play this game? Like, how long? What you got? You got a bet? You have any suggestions on when we should like pivot? Because you cannot ignore that this performance reinforces the dynamic that we need to be fighting for scraps. Like, the lyrics, "The job is mine," literally speaks to the assumption that there can only be one of us. Like, that doesn't hurt anybody's feelings right now. Like, for one Black woman to succeed, another one must fail. Like, we have to compete with each other rather than collaborate. That's the narrative that keeps the power structures exactly as they are. Because as long as we're focusing on competing with each other, we are not questioning the people who create these opportunities. Why are there not more opportunities to go around? We didn't challenge the executives or the decision makers behind the whole Breakfast Club thing. We went to Charlemagne and DJ Envy. Why are these spaces so limited in the first place? Okay, so I have some examples here. I have a study that showed that despite making up like 13% of the U.S., that Black women still hold less than 4% of executive positions in media companies. And when we look at radio specifically, the numbers are even more stark. Like, less than 7% of the radio hosts nationwide are Black women. And that percentage drops when we look at primetime slots. So when you have like two talented Black women who are battling out for a single seat at the Breakfast Club, like, that's not just drama. That's a systemic issue playing out in real time. You feel me? Like, this is... And while I appreciate them finding a creative way to capitalize on the moment, I really do wish that the industry didn't create these gladiatorial scenarios in the first place. Get into the vocab. And what's even more frustrating is that this happens even when Black audiences demonstrate their purchasing power and loyalty. We watch this show. What you mean? What you mean there's only one seat? Like, we consume more TV, more radio, we engage more deeply online with any content, almost more than any other demographic. Yet our shows and platforms that cater to these audiences, the audiences that we are a part of, are often the first on the chopping block when the budget cuts come around. Does that not bother you? Like, we're giving you our most precious currency, our attention, and we have to sit there and watch two women freak out over one job. It's the breakfast club. Why isn't there a lunch club or a dinner club? I mean, there's so much room for growth. Why are we being limited, especially when you have the audience? So don't get me wrong, I'm not a Debbie Downer. Like, I love this collaboration. I think they look beautiful, and I'm happy that they both have a job that they can clock into and a place that they can thrive, and hopefully more to come with this opportunity. But I'm not going to sit here and say that it doesn't hurt a little bit to hear the job is mine. Especially what went down with Garcelle, especially what we see with Joy Reid. Like, those are just the celebrities. How about you? How about somebody in your life losing their job? How about somebody that's like clocked in today, like right now, that's like stressed out because their potential replacement is getting along with everyone better than them? They're a little bit more agreeable. They're a little bit more assimilated. Let me know your thoughts.